Madam Deputy Registrar, would you please call the matter?
Thank you, Honorable President Saunders. Caribbean Court of Justice, original jurisdiction, hearing of the original application in GYOJ number 1 of 2020 between Cephil Hodge and the state of Trinidad and Tobago. The court's full bench sits to hear this matter, comprising their honors, Honorable Mr. Justice Saunders, President and the presiding judge.
Good morning, Counsel.
Honorable Mr. Justice Witt.
Good morning, Counsel.
Honorable Mr. Justice Anderson. Honorable Madam Justice Rajnatley.
Good morning, Counsel. Good morning, everyone.
Honorable Mr. Justice Barrow.
Good morning, Counsel.
Honorable Mr. Justice Burgess.
Good morning, Counsel.
And Honorable Mr. Justice Jamadar.
Good morning, everyone.
May we have the appearances, please? Thank you.
Pleasant good morning. If the court pleases, I'm Kiev Chesney, and I continue to act on behalf of the claimant.
Yes, good morning, Counsel.
Good morning, my lords, my lady. Should it please the court in this matter, my name is Terence Barath, and I'm instructed by Mr. Brent James, and we appear on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, morning again, Counsel.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honors. Gladys Young for the Caribbean community.
Good morning, Ms. Young. Okay, so yesterday we received the very pleasing word that the parties have come to a settlement, and we have seen the draft order, or the draft consent, I prefer to call it, with the signatures of Mr. Hodge, Mr. Chesney, and Mr. Barrett, I'm assuming that is. Ms.
So
Young,
Mr. President, that's Mr. James.
That's Mr. James, I see.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Young, does CARICOM have any issue? Have you seen the document?
I have seen it, Your Honor.
And does CARICOM have any issue with it?
No, Your Honor. CARICOM is pursuing the matters in the Council for Trade and Economic Development.
Yes. Okay, that's great. I gather that Council do not wish for the terms of the order to be made available to the public. Is that the case? Can you confirm that?
That is the case on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay. Well, we would simply regard this document as your consent or the terms in which you have consented to the settlement of this matter. And of course, we would have our own order, which will include the names of all the judges who sit today. And for the avoidance of doubt, Mr. Justice Anderson is in the court today. And we will ensure that the terms of the settlement are not made available to the public. Is there anything else, whether from Council or any of my colleagues?
If it pleases you, President, and the court, I think Mr. Chesney has dropped out of our hearing. We will try to get him back in, please, President.
Yes.
Yes. President, we are trying to reach him via telephone and mail. We've not yet been successful.
I see. And he was the only council parent for the claimant. Is that correct?
Yes, President. Yes, President.
Yes.
We'll try again.
Yes, if we couldn't get him by Teams, but we could get him by phone, then it may be possible to patch him in by phone.
Yes, I will let him know.
Is it 5 minutes?
There you are, Mr. Chesney.
Yes, he's back in President and Judges. Thank you.
Yes. President, if I may I ask just for some information from Ms. Young?
Yes, sure, go ahead.
Ms. Young, you mentioned when the President asked if CARICOM had anything further in relation to this matter, that, as it were, had quoted some things were being done. It seems to me, and this is only my personal observation, that there may be, perhaps across the region, uncertainty on the part of immigration officers, authorities, as to exactly how the regime should operate. Is there some intention of circulating among countries some clarification from CARICOM on how the matter should operate?
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, we actually have circulated documents and have actually trained immigration officers and have trained immigration officers to train the other immigration officers on the matter. We would have done that training in 2016, and we would have put in place a program. We actually now have in place a program. It has been put on pause for immigration officers to do some exchanges, so that we would have immigration officers from one country going to another country to get a little more of the training. But we are consistent. We're constantly trying to put those matters in place and to actually have meetings with the member states and including all of the various players to ensure that they have put in place the procedures and are continuing to bring the awareness. We recognize that there are some challenges. We have had some CSME implementation meetings which have highlighted what you have just said, Your Honor, about the fact that some immigration officers seem to have some misunderstandings in relation to the system, and so we continue to do that. We continue to have the meetings with the member states, continue to do training and impress upon member states the need to do continuous training and to bring these procedures and the various rules to the attention of all of the players. We've also put in place a complaint system, and those complaints forms are supposed to be available at immigration and at the relevant ministries.
Thank you so much, President. Thank you, Ms. Young. That substantially allays my concern and is in fact quite heartening. Thanks.
Yeah. President, if I may take it one very small step further, Ms. Young, under the revised treaty, it speaks to appropriate legislative, administrative, and procedural arrangements. And I just wondered whether there is still room for CARICOM to look at those arrangements to see whether they are in place for persons, CARICOM nationals, holding skills certificates and working in other jurisdictions. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, before you answer, Ms. Young, I take it one step further as well, and to say that perhaps the time has come when those arrangements could be reduced into writing in the form of a protocol, which hopefully can be agreed and disseminated, and so that that will not only be a basis around which the training can be carried out, but also it could inform the citizenry of the community as to what their entitlements are and what the entitlements of the immigration officials are, etc.
Yes, Your Honors. So we actually produce, I won't say it's a protocol, it's not a protocol, but we have produced booklets which set out all of the decisions and the procedures. We have done 3 versions, and we have actually published them online as well. We have distributed them to member states and published them. And of course, each time the regime changes in the sense of additional categories being added, etc., then it needs to be updated. We also have an implementation plan that we have published. Of course, it's a very large document that sets out the decisions and where each member state is at in terms of what is required for the member states. This was done based on a 2017 to 2019, the time frame for implementation. That time frame has passed, but we continue to update the implementation plan and continue to, once it's updated, publish it on our website. In terms of the procedures, the other aspect that we are doing in relation to the procedures is that we've been having meetings in an effort to simplify the procedures in all of the regimes, because we recognize that a lot of these procedures were done when we were just starting, and there is a recognition that as the treaty has been interpreted by the court, as we have made changes in terms of the requirements, that the procedures need to be simplified. And so that is an ongoing process as well, because we want to ensure that not only are they simplified, but also harmonized. And we are trying to, and well, we do reach out to member states to do the public education, not just in terms of the persons that are implementing the system, but more so for the users of the system as well, so that they are aware of their rights and also what obligations they would have in terms of document production or other matters. So it's an ongoing effort. We are constantly, in fact, we would have just updated the conference at its last meeting, and we would be bringing the matters to the attention of COTED again. It's an ongoing effort, and there are various streams where there's a recognition that more needs to be done to make the citizenry aware.
Okay, thank you. All right, so just to reiterate, the court will...
if I may, now I'm experiencing significant...
Yeah, we were listening. We are hearing you, Justice Anderson. Are you hearing us?
Intermittently. I will forego my question. That's fine. Okay. The internet connection at this end is not very good.
I see. Okay. Yeah, just to recap, the court will issue an order in this matter, indicating that the matter has been settled on confidential terms agreed by the parties. Those terms, of course, will not be included in our order, but we would regard the document which was submitted by the parties as the confidential terms, which is referenced in our order. And we will try to get that order to you, if not this afternoon, then certainly by Monday morning. And on that basis, this case will be closed. I want to thank Council for their reasonableness in settling this matter. And I wish you all a good morning. Madam Deputy Registrar, can you please close the proceedings?
Thank you, Honourable President Saunders. Thank you, Honourable Judges. Thank you, Council, and thank you, staff of the Caribbean Court of Justice. This court now stands adjourned. Good day to all. Thank you.